Okay, to build this, we're going to use your basic MIG welder, wire feed welder. Very easy to use. If I can use it, anybody can. But this pretty much makes this job pretty simple. Now this is the completed keg and burner stand. As you can see, there's a spot in the middle for the burner to come through, and made this out of 14 gauge steel, so it's heavy duty. It'll definitely hold up, and we've got 3 of these to make before we put it on the stand. This is the finished product. This is one of the keg stands. Got a spot in the middle there for the burner. This is the base with the casters on, and as you can see, we have 2 fixed casters in the back and then 2 swivel casters in the front so that we can move it about like it needs to go. The casters in the front are lockable so we can keep it in place, and the next step would be to create our vertical stanchions so we can go ahead and put our burner plates on.
It's March 1st, 2014, and here's our half barrel keg, and we have 2 of these, one for the hot liquor tank, one is the mash tun, and actually a third as your for the kettle. We have to convert them. We haven't done the conversion yet, but we have our supports here. As you see, the 4 diagonal supports for the burner and for the keg. This is our kettle right here, and we'll have our mash tun in the center, right in between, and our hot liquor tank up here on top. So it's coming together, but now we're welding the supports for the kegs, and well, on to welding.
And we're listening to Boston.
New York, baby, Yankee.
So this is where we are. We have the vertical system. Okay, he's being weird.
Yeah, heavy metal. So anyway, supports are on, as you can see. Yeah, not perfect welds, but hey, we're not welders, so looking good. 1, 2, 3, hence 3-tier system. Bam! Now we just need to weld some lateral supports on the end of the brackets there, and we'll be in business.
Go ahead and take a barrel and put it on the midsection.
Here, I'll simulate.
This is going to be...
Bam! Imagine it's full of 15.5 gallons of delicious beer, or wort, rather. And there you go. So, I think it looks halfway done. It's getting there.
We've added some supports here.
Supports to the bottom kettle and lateral supports for the main trunk. So we just need a couple more supports here for the top shelves, and we'll be good. But hey, looking good already. At least we got shelves on. So we'll build the supports, weld them on, and then we'll install the burners under each support, and we'll be 3/4 of the way there. Sweet.
This is the completed frame. We have all the supports on there. As you can see, we have diagonal supports for the top, the middle, and the bottom, as well as diagonal supports for the entire frame. So this should be nice and sturdy with full kegs of liquid inside. Next is going to be to put the burner places on. We've got to put the burners on, and we've got to put some rigging to hold the burners. So here's what we have so far. Okay, this is what you do and your welds are very ugly. Next step is to weld some brackets on to hold your burner. This is a banjo burner, high output banjo burner. And as you can see, the 4 different supports for the keg also make the perfect spot to be able to weld on brackets, L brackets. And the L brackets are welded on, and we have drilled some extra holes to make this adjustable so that, as you can see, you can adjust the height between the top of the orifice of the burner and the bottom of the keg. Right now we have this set for a little over 6 inches, and but if it's too high or too low, between using the regulator and by lowering or raising this, we would be able to make sure that the flame is at the optimum level.
Voila!
This smaller banjo burner doesn't come with the tapped screws, threads on the side, so this one, as you can see, has a center mounting bolt. So we've cut a piece of 10-inch, 1/4-inch plate, 3/16, and we want this still to be adjustable. So what we're doing is we're actually tacking on some nuts onto the 4 corners of the plate, and they will be adjustable like the other ones. Okay, as you can see, what we've done is we have welded some brackets onto the bottom here like we did for the top, and this is one of the larger banjo burners, and as you can see, it has the 4 bolts on the side so that this is totally adjustable, so we can raise and lower it. We wanted it to also, for the small burner, because it didn't have the 4 pre-threaded holes on the side, we had to create that custom bracket, which we'll get finished and show you. To be able to mount our pump, we have to weld a piece of 1/4-inch plate here. As you can see, I just finished welding this piece of steel, and I'm going to mount this little circulator pump to be able to circulate our bottom keg. I have drilled 4 holes to hold the pump on, and now I've gone ahead and drilled out, and I'm tapping these holes so I don't have to use nuts on the back end. Of course, you could have just used nuts, and I'm going to go ahead and tap these 4 holes to accept the threads on those bolts. We've mounted the circulator pump. As you can see, we have the pump bolted on there, and what I've also done to hold the propane tank is I took some expanded steel on the bottom of our brew system, and I put 2 pieces of angle iron down there and tacked it to the bottom to hold the tank. Now all we have to do is mount our burners onto our adjustable bracket assembly that we put on here. This is the finished product. It's taken a while, but it's come out quite nice. As you can see, we have a 3-tier system that we've completed. We've taken 2 existing kegs and converted them, cut the tops out so that we have a kettle, and we have a ball valve and our temperature gauge here on both of them. As you can see, we have a banjo burner, and that burner will heat these puppies up very fast. We have about 6 inches gap between the top of the orifice and the bottom of the keg or the kettle. And here is our this is our stainless steel one we got from the manufacturer. We did weld in our fittings on the side because we found that the O-ring and the weldless fittings were kind of flimsy and we really didn't care for that. I'm sure you're aware of the units that have the false bottom in them so that you can pull the false bottom up with all of your goodies. And we have our lower BTU burner here for the middle kettle, and for the bottom again we have a good old major jet banjo burner down there. We have our propane tank mounted on the bottom. Could probably use two, but we're just going to disconnect as we need it. And we have the regulators on this side, as you can see. And we have our ball valves of the tanks on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and fire this thing up and let you see what kind of flame this thing produces. Alrighty, here we go. Look at the size of that flame. As you can see, it's going to heat the bottom of that kettle up real quick. And we have this regulated on the back of the banjo burner. Of course, you can adjust your airflow. You can also use your regulator down here to adjust the gas. Now we've got it cut down low. You can look at the difference in the height of the flame. This is our 3-tier gravity-fed brewing system, and definitely is not going to fall apart. And if you'd like to make one of these, just follow the video. If you don't want to make one of these, give us a ring and we'll see what we can do to get you one. Happy brewing!